evening. Calling this February 26, 2024 meeting of the Wayne-Westland Community School Board of Education to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Our first item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, item 248.24. We have 4 students, actually, that will be leading us in this pledge today, 2 from Roosevelt and 2 from Wildwood. We have Keith Husani and Bryson Wilson from Roosevelt, and Brielle McNellis and Logan Marie Rucker from Wildwood. All right, so the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Good job, guys.
Thank you, and I do believe we have the principals of these students here if they want to say a word.
Principals first.
Can I call you guys back up? Come on, Priya. Come on, Logan. Hi, I'm Miss Babiak. I'm the principal of Wildwood, and I have Logan Marie Rucker here. Turn around. There you go. She lives in Westland and is the daughter of Ashley and Daryl. She has a stepbrother, Josiah, who's 6 years old. She has a bull-nosed pit bull named Ace. She was new to Wildwood this year, and she is in Miss Patterson's 4th grade classroom. Miss Patterson, her teacher, said that she is very kind, compassionate, and plus she is very hardworking. She loves to help other students out in the classroom with their learning. Her favorite subjects are science and social studies. Logan Marie has stated that she also likes that Wildwood has 2 principals, a big gym, 2 playgrounds, a great classroom, students, and her teacher. When she grows up, she wants to be an artist because she loves to draw.
Hi, I'm Mr. Furka, the assistant principal at Wildwood, and we brought along Brielle McNeilis. She lives in Westland as the daughter of Ryan and Melissa. She has one brother, Briston, who is 11, and he goes to Stevenson. She has 3 pets, which are 2 cats and 1 dog, and their names are Mila, Ginger, and Bella. She has been a Wildwood student since kindergarten and is currently in Mrs. Miller's 3rd grade. Mrs. Miller has stated Brielle is always respectful, responsible, and safe. She tries her best every day on every assignment. She includes others so no one feels left out, and she leads by example with her kind words and thoughtful actions. Her favorite subjects are reading and science. Brielle has stated that she likes Wildwood because all the teachers are nice, and when she grows up, she wants to be an orthodontist with her friend Zoe.
Miss Babiak, will you guys look up there? He's going to take a picture of you guys.
All right, I have Bryson with me. Unfortunately, Keith wasn't able to make it tonight, but Keith would have done a great job, too. I'm Mark Watson, the principal at Roosevelt McGrath, and I'm proud to have Bryson stand next to me. Bryson is a 5th grade student in Mrs. Bosch's class. He's right over there at Roosevelt McGrath, where he's known above all for his kindness and willingness to help others. He is super awesome at math and loves to peer tutor when he finishes his own work, which he does often early. He currently holds the class record as being fastest to complete an entire blank multiplication table, 1 through 12s, in only 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Yeah. His teacher and classmates are all very proud of him because he has recently taken ownership over his health and shows discipline daily in spending time working out. His family who's here today as well. His family describes him as a kind son, brother, cousin, and grandson who will help anyone in need and often thinks about how he can put others before himself. He is an animal lover, and his best friend is his dog, Midge. Love that. He loves video games and Skittles and enjoys family game nights. Who doesn't love Skittles? He does not care for chores. It's common at my house, too. But loves to save money. Bryson is definitely someone to look up to. Congratulations, Bryson.
right, the next item of business is 249.24, which is roll call attendance. Ms. Hines?
Miss Abney Mitchell is absent. Dr. Weaver.
Present.
Ms. May. Present. Mr. Cox. Present. Mr. Neal.
Here.
Ms. Hines here. President Gray.
Here.
Let the record show 6-0.
All right, and the next,
1. Sorry,
6-1.
6-1. Yep, 6-1. Sorry.
The next item is 250.25, recognitions and presentations. Dr. Dignan?
Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Curry. She's going to introduce Lily King, our district spelling bee winner, a sixth grader from Stevenson Middle School. So, Miss Curry.
So, Lily, we are excited to say congratulations. She has won our district spelling bee, competed against 17 other middle schoolers. And the next step, I believe, is the regional spelling bee. Can you share with us your winning word?
Uncanny.
Can you spell it?
UNCANNY.
We have a certificate for you. For your certificate of achievement, we are very excited to see what comes next, and congratulations. If you look right, do you want to have your mom and dad come up? Are they here with you? Okay.
You didn't realize this, huh?
Great job, Lily.
Next, I'd like to invite up James Crowley. Mr. Crowley is from Miller Canfield. He's going to do a presentation on the operating millage, so I'll hand it over to Mr. Crowley.
Good evening, Board. I'm Jim Crowley. I head up our school law group at Miller Canfield. I've represented the district for many, many years, kind of in the back room, doing all your finance stuff. I've handled all your bond deals for many, many years. Some developments have come up. I've been talking with administration, John and his staff, about the operating millage. And this came up with Inkster Schools, the piece of Inkster Schools that's in the district that was transferred when the Inkster was dissolved. And many of you may or may not know, but the state has agreed to forgive Inkster's debt. So that piece that you got from Inkster was taxes were being levied there, and it was being used to pay off the Inkster debt. Well, that's gone away, and we have to fold that back into Wayne-Westland from a taxing perspective. So in those conversations, we started talking about your operating millage, which is going to expire at the end of 2025, and how we go about renewing that. Let's see, is that? Oops. Is Nick here? Where's Nick?
There you go.
Oh, there it goes. Okay. So I just wanted to do a quick summary of what the operating millage is. You know, under Proposal A, the district gets a per pupil foundation allowance every year. This year it's $9,608. And that is funded by two sources. The district levies an 18 mil levy on what we call non-homestead, which is your commercial property. It's not, the 18 mils is not levied on homesteads. That money comes in, and then the state makes up the rest so that you get that $9,608 per student. And that's Proposal A. It's been in effect for 30 years. The 18 mils is a levy that has to be renewed occasionally. This district renewed their operating millage 15 years ago, and it's going to expire at the end of 2025. So one of the reasons I'm here is to get the board thinking about how we're going to go about renewing that. This, when we do renew it, we go to the voters, and you can go up to a 20-year term on that. Your last term was 15 years. And the thing that we're going to focus on tonight is the fact that this levy is subject to Headley rollbacks. We've had the Headley rollback provision since 1978. It's a tax limitation provision that caps what revenues can be garnered from levies when property values go up. The problem we have with schools in Proposal A is it's not, what Headley is supposed to do is to give you cap it at an increase with inflation. But the way that Proposal A works, if you get rolled back below 18 mils, which this district has been rolled back, you actually lose money on that. Oops, too fast. So just to look at your current situation, the district has 18 mills authorized. That was authorized by the voters in 2010 for a 15-year term, which would end at the end of 2025. So you could levy this year, 2024, and levy 2025. The problem that we have is that your 18 mills has been rolled back to 17.4798 by operation of the Headley Amendment. This is costing you about $500,000 a year in lost revenues. The state, in the formula, the state always assumes that you're levying 18 mills, but you're not. And that's the flaw that Prop A, Proposal A has. It really doesn't work like it's supposed to. It penalizes school districts that have that. The second part of this equation is that we mentioned the Inkster property. When the state pays off the Inkster's debt in June of this year, we're going to start, the district, is going to start levying taxes on that Inkster piece. The 18 mills will get levied on commercial property in that Inkster piece. But before we do that, we have to give the Inkster, those voters in that community, the ability to vote on this. So, which would probably normally happen when we renew it in next year. So we've been talking to the administration. I've done this with many school districts. You're not unusual. A lot of districts have gotten hit by these rollbacks, and their millages have gone below 18 mils prior to the expiration of the term. So what we've been advising our clients is to do, is to go out and ask the voters to replace the millage prior to the expiration of the term. So what we do is to go out early, and my recommendation to the board would be to consider maybe going out August or November of 2024, which are the primary election and the presidential election this year, and asking the voters to replace it early. And so by doing that, we can get it back up to 18, and we can also levy and not lose that $500,000 for the 24-25 school year. If we wait into 2025 to renew it, we're going to lose that $500,000. So what we've been doing with many of our clients is to asking them to do it early for that. The two dates that I'm recommending are also good dates because they're primary and presidential election dates. The cost of that election will be almost nothing. If we do it on a date that's not where other things are on the ballot, you, the district, are going to have to pay for it. And we're getting really sticker shock. And so, for instance, in the May election, a lot of our school districts are going out and there's nothing else on the ballot. They're paying for the whole election, and they're getting sticker shock on the cost. You know, we have under Prop 2 that's coming to full effect this year with all the new voting requirements, the clerks are really telling us that it's costing a lot more to run an election. And I would guess to run an election in this district would be well over $100,000 to do that. So you have two free dates, August and November. The other one would be to go into next year, May, and that you could end up having to pay for that election, and you would also lose the $500,000 that we could capture by replacing it in August and November. So if we looked at the two dates, it's August, it's the second Tuesday in August and November. We're required to get, if we wanted to pursue this, we'd have to get the ballot proposal to the Wayne County clerk by the 12th Tuesday prior to the election day, which I have those two dates. So the board would have to approve the ballot language at a board meeting, and those are the two board meetings I kind of picked out. So if you wanted to do the August election date with a replacement, that April 22nd would be the date you would take action. If you did November, it would be the July 15th board meeting. Do And I just included in here with the ballot language. This is standard ballot language that we use. So instead of calling this a renewal, we call it a replacement because we're replacing it 1 year early. And the other thing I just wanted to point out for your consideration is that we're doing with many of our districts is the 18 mills is the most that can ever be levied. And again, it's not levied on personal residences. This is on commercial property, on rental properties. It's not on your, homeowners do not pay this tax. So what we're asking when we do this is we try to build in a cushion, what we call a Headley cushion. And we can ask for as many mills as we want. We can only levy 18. So many of our districts were saying, let's put a cushion of 1 to 3 mills so that if Headley rollbacks come, we're never going to go below 18 mills. So it cushions you and it ensures that you're going to levy 18 mills each year and get your full foundation allowance. And the other thing we're trying to encourage districts is to go out to the maximum 20 years. I'm not a fan of these elections. People don't understand them. School financing is, complex, and just people don't understand how it works. So my suggestion, and I've set this up as an example, would be to ask for 3 mills, 21 mills total, with 18 being the max that you could levy for 20 years. So I just wanted to throw this out for your consideration to start thinking about this. If you wanted, obviously, if you wanted to go to the August or November dates, those, you'd have to hit those one of the 2 board meetings. Any questions? Yes.
Yeah, didn't something like this happen a while ago where they had the Wayne-Westland language that they had to create it in Lansing because we're losing like $7 million a year? Remember when the proposal A, because you were on the board a long time ago, and we got special money from Lansing when we had those issues with proposal A, and it was that Wayne-Westland language they put just for us to get extra money because we were losing so much some years ago.
If that's a question to me, Mel, no. But what we're talking about here is the community's, basically the community's ability to levy tax to pay the school district from the business.
The businesses, okay.
And my question is, will the ballot language explain that this does not include people's principal residences?
So if you look, we start out right in statutory limit 18 mills on all property except principal residences. So we just got that. So that preamble is we put in to try to put it in layperson's terms of what that is. And the question is what the statute lays out, how we have the question. So it's front and center there, yeah, that it's not personal residences. Principal homeowners don't pay this tax. You pay the 6 mil education tax, but you do not pay the 18 mills. That's on businesses, rental properties, commercial properties.
Ms. Himes?
And then the campaign for it, because when we did the bond, you know how you got to be careful, like to say yes. Because I helped Westwood, we did a $24.5 million bond, and we got passed. But we had to be really particular how we did it, so that way we didn't have to spend a lot of money, trying to do all that. So with this particular campaign, would it just be like information only, not a say yes type with this renewal?
Correct.
Or-
Yeah, under the Campaign Finance Act, you can't use school resources to advocate for a yes vote, but you can inform all day long. And most districts have really nice, and I'm sure this district has done it in the past, FAQs that kind of really lay out what it is, and that's the best way I've seen it done. And there's a bunch out on the internet from other schools. We can help you with that, putting that together when you do your campaign.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Yep,
Carlos.
thank you.
The next item on the agenda is 251.24 citizens' comments on agenda items. Do we have any cards turned in?
Got 2. One was agenda, one was non. Let's see.
We have Kevin Marchi.
Hi, my name is Kevin Markey. I'm the Spanish teacher at John Glenn High School. Good evening, school board and administration. As time continues to pass, we have no updates on the financial status of the district. And as this occurs, the concerns of mismanagement of district finances proliferates among staff members and the community, there are several bits of information that could really help clear up these concerns. The first would be our current budget. Has the district administration amended the 23-24 budget yet to change it from spending more than our revenue to spending significantly less than our revenue? Second, has the district calculated the amount of savings from the attrition of staff members who have left the district so far this year? Has the district created a list of the positions that fall under the category of excessive hiring that will drop off of the payroll at the end of the year and add to our savings and therefore to our general fund? Can we get a calculated amount of general fund expenditures that has been reclassified to use ESSER or COVID funds thus far? When can we get a total amount that has actually been returned to the general fund? Can we get a calculated amount of money still in the process of being reclassified to use ESSER and COVID funds to cover the general fund over expenditures of the last 2 years? As we have said all along, we are blessed to have a simple and responsible solution right in front of us. I fear we would be negligent not to use it. With the total amount of ESSER and COVID funds available for reclassification being $26.3 million, that alone should put us back well above the 15% general fund balance mandated by the school board 2 years ago. Surely, when we add that to the savings from an amended budget that has us spending less than our revenue instead of more than our revenue, we can be nearer to a 20% general fund balance. Add to that the savings from attrition of staff and the removal of excessive hiring practices, and our general fund balance once again becomes rock solid for the foreseeable future. It can once again be at or close to its highest level ever. Now, with all of the above taking place, the ability to carry out negotiations becomes possible. However, we cannot return to the outdated negotiation style of passing offers and counter-offers across the table because this will do nothing to help the healing process of the district. Our constant problem in this district has been the lack of willingness of the administration to actually collaborate with the staff and the union representation. What I and many others would recommend is that the school board have their administrative negotiation team attend a training session for interest-based bargaining, also known as IBB. There are even a couple of administrators that have already done so and worked with us in the past using this style of bargaining. This is the style of bargaining that we used in the past where we solved issues together by actually talking about them together. We were able to retain and attract staff because of increases to the contract. We were even able to increase the general fund balance after the 2 contracts that were agreed upon using interest-based bargaining. We are once again going to need to work hard together to retain staff this round of bargaining. Without stability and confidence in the district leadership team and the additional workload now being placed on the remaining staff, we face an increase in the number of staff leaving for other districts again. Let's work together to prevent this as we did in the past. Please remember that I have consistently offered my assistance and the assistance of our local union to remedy the mistakes of the district financial management. I offer our assistance again today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We have David Brinkerhoff.
Non-agenda.
Nope, not agenda. All right. Do we have anybody else that, oh. And I ask that you both afterwards make sure to fill out a form for the records.
I appreciate you've asked me that. I've done that. I've turned them in. And that is one of the things I would like to speak on. My name is Michelle Sample. I have done what you have asked. I've done my due diligence and filled this out. It's right here. I have not gotten a phone call. I have not gotten an email. I have not gotten anybody on the board. And there are 7 of you on the board. And then there's central administration. So let's say there's about 10 people total that have not reached back out to me on anything. When I stood up here last time and talked on non-consent and asked about Hamilton, Mr. Spizak did tell me to contact his office. I was busy, didn't get a chance, but the fencing line was taken down. I thank the district for that, because the kids were messing with it in the community. I would like answers, as everyone else has. In the packet today, which is not shown online, I will call your attention to and ask what those, you had the financial meeting, and why does everything say informational only? On part 4, for the spyglass audit results, the change in funding allocation, informational only. IRS determination, informational only. Subscription, it just goes on and on. I do appreciate that there are numbers. We actually have, as the district can see, the investment and the check register. Thank you guys for that. But why aren't we seeing that? Why is the district still firing and laying off people and staff? Why is there a promotion in HR to directors? There was a director and there's a specialist. Still no cuts in the administration staff. Why is that? I have heard that I have heard also that there's bi-weekly emails, e-blast, of points of pride. Somebody shared those out to me, and I am very honored and glad to see what the district has accomplished. I am proud of all the staff and the students. Don't get me wrong with that. However, the staff, students, or the parents, the community members are asking for things that we are not getting, and that is annoying everybody. That's why everybody is upset and coming at you. We want answers. We deserve answers. This board should give the answers that we are asking. If we're losing money, we will work with you. You just heard, he'll work with you. We want this. Why don't we have more hirings? Why are there, as I asked last meeting in December and in January, central administration keeps increasing, gets their money, staff keeps getting the short end, which is hurting the students, which is our goal. Money is important, and I understand that. You're coming up with the election, you want to have that. I worked on this 4 years ago. I helped get that bond information out. This year, I don't think you guys are going to have an easy access to get that done. Just be aware of that.
Do we have anybody else for comments for agenda items? This one.
Good evening, Jessica West. I do have a sheet, I'll turn it in. I want to echo some of the sentiments about the fact that we still need communication and transparency. I understand that the promise that has been made has been that we'll have more information in March. However, you stood before us today and presented information about going out to taxpayers, I understand, albeit commercial taxpayers, asking them for a renewal, but yet you still haven't been able to answer the previous questions related to budget issues, and I find that offensive as a community member. So I think you really need to think about that with relation to the timing. You need to be able to provide answers to your community members about what your budget looks like now and what your budget's going to look like into the future before you talk about what you should or should not be levying. Additionally, I want to echo the sentiment about ESSER funding and other funds and how that should be, things have been reallocated out of the public's eye to cover expenses. But what it has done is you've displaced budgets within departments across different schools. And there's a proposal actually in the agenda this evening regarding instruments. Now, I'm a band mom. You'll see me at every single function. Those students have had their budgets wiped away multiple times this year, actually. 3, if I'm counting correctly. I sit on the booster club, and we have been racking our brains and trying to figure out how we're going to come up with additional funding so that kids can have reads, they can repair their instruments, they can recork things as they're breaking, we can provide music for them, and do everything to keep those programs running, because it seems that they have been thrown by the wayside because a zero budget for them is unacceptable. So while I agree that the ESSER funding being moved around is an issue and the zeroing of the budgets is an issue, how do we buy science supplies for science classrooms? I would really like to know. I will say that these students need these instruments. across all of the schools. And so I understand the budgeting issue, and I understand the conundrum that you have between approving fund expenditures at this point, and I urge you to continue to use caution with how you allocate fund expenditures. But in this instance, I will say that they are in desperate need, and frankly, they're in desperate need beyond what you see on this paper, but they will take anything that they can get. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else? All right, the next item on the agenda is 252.24, the consent agenda.
So moved.
There a motion by Dr. Weaver? Do we have support?
Support.
Support by Ms. Hines. Do we have any questions for the consent agenda? Any comments? Any questions, comments on the consent agenda? No? All right, Ms. Hines, take the vote.
Ms. May?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
President Gray?
Yes.
Record shows 6-0, motion carries.
All right, the next item on the agenda is 253.24, which is Board of Education Committee reports. The only item on here is the Finance Committee report. Ms. May?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The Finance Committee meeting of the Board of Trustees of Wayne-Westland Community Schools met Thursday, February 8th, 2024, beginning at 4:31 p.m. via Zoom platform. Mrs. Abney Mitchell and Ms. May were present. Ms. Mitter shared that the district will be putting out a RFP for student driver education services. The services will be paid through a grant the district was awarded from the state of Michigan. Mrs. Polakevich explained RFPs to purchase band instruments for the middle and high schools. Mrs. Samara presented the Spyglass audit results. Mrs. Campbell informed the committee of a change in funding allocation for the E-rate wireless access points that were presented last month. Mrs. Campbell informed the committee of the IRS determination that requires the Board of Education members to be paid through payroll. Mrs. Campbell presented information regarding the document that detailed district subscriptions and renewal dates. It was requested that funding sources be added to the document and that this information be shared with the entire board upon completion. Mrs. Campbell presented the investment report and the check register. Dr. Dignan shared closing comments. Ms. May and Mrs. Abney Mitchell shared closing comments as well. The meeting was adjourned at 5:24 p.m. Complete minutes should be available on the district website. The next meeting will take place on March 7th, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. via Zoom. Thank you.
And before we moved on to the next item, I believe, Ms. May, did you have a motion you wanted to make?
Yes, I do. I would move that we start the RFP process for a forensic audit to at least begin to find out how much it would cost us to move in that direction.
Do we have any support for Ms. May's motion?
Support.
Support by Ms. Hines. Do we have any questions or comments on it, this item? No. Ms. Hines?
Let's see. Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. May?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
President Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Next item on the agenda is 254.24, review and approval of business service and finance. Ms. Campbell's not here, but
Mr. Toko.
Mr. Choko is going to speak to this item.
Yep. Good evening, board and community. I have one item tonight, and it's going to be the recommendation to purchase band instruments. The Wayne-Westland Community Schools issued a formal RFP in October 2023 for an assortment of brand new band instruments. The proposals were carefully reviewed for the criteria of both price and quality, and 3 well-known and reputable vendors were selected at the following levels. The total, the 3 companies are Marshall Music, Shar Music, Sweetwater Music. The total was $178,706. ESSER 3 funds have been approved and earmarked since 2022 for this purchase under the qualification of providing equitable access for all students. I recommend that the Board of Education approve the purchase of middle and high school band instruments in the amount of $178,706 using ESSER 3 funds.
Move approval.
Support.
Do Do we have any questions or comments?
I got a comment.
Ms. Hines?
Yeah, I'm really glad to approve that. The band is very important. I was a part of the marching band. And just for like, emotional support for the kids, give them something positive. And, we're working through these budget issues, but I definitely want to make sure we support our kids this year. So thank you guys for making sure you made it all work financially for the kids. So thanks for that work on that.
Any other remarks? All right, Ms. Hines?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. May?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
I'm sorry, President Gray. And Mr. Cox?
Yes.
6-0 motion carries.
All right, next item on the agenda is 255.24, which is citizens' comments on non-agenda items. We have one form. If anybody else would like to speak, please fill the form and get it up to us. We have David Brigoff.
Good evening, Board of Education, ladies and gentlemen. My name's David Brinkhoff. I've been in the teacher in the district for over 25 years. Usually my classroom has always been in the high schools. Okay, well, that situation changed. They moved my classroom over to the Career Center, which I was very excited about. However, there was a few situations that were concerning to me when that happened.
Set up your classroom.
So, yeah, when I got there, instead of having one classroom, I was put into two. So I had two classrooms that adjoined, but no opening, no way to see between the two rooms, no windows. This was concerning to me. I expressed that with my administrators. I actually expressed it with several people that are in this room. My biggest concern was the safety. I wasn't able to see the kids, okay, at the same time in both rooms because of no wall, or the wall being there, no opening. I had equipment, technology in one room, and then the computers in a totally separate room. So my classroom management was a big concern to me. I mean, how was I going to be able to effectively manage if I can't see all of my kids at the same time? Again, I expressed this concern to my administrator. She knew about it, agreed with me. Nothing happened the whole year. Luckily, I had a good set of kids, all right, and really, I didn't have any issues, with classroom management. I didn't have to really worry about them as much, even though we were constantly going back and forth out in the hallway to access both rooms. This year came around, same situation. I expressed again, and I had this conversation several times with my administrators, both of them. They actually agreed with me. It shouldn't be set up this way. A teacher should not have to try to, be able to manage two different classrooms at the same time, especially with all the technology that I have, the different resources, hand tools. I teach architecture and engineering design. Okay, we do a lot of 3D printing. Okay, there's a lot of technology involved. All right, there's a lot of things going on. Kids are creating different things. Okay, that's done in one room, and then in the other room, they're doing their designs. Where I couldn't see them both at the same time. Very frustrating, very concerning to me. All right. This year, though, I got a different set of kids. Okay? I've had a couple situations.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Dr. Weir. You can continue.
I had a couple of situations. I had a bullying situation, was the last one. All right? 3 girls, they kind of bullied another girl. Well, they set it up to where I was in the other room. And then if I was in the other room, they set the situation up to happen in the other room. I brought this to the attention of the administration, talked to our social worker about it. It was very, very frustrating for me to deal with this. I've never had to deal with that before. So given the situation where I expressed concern, okay, I had went to my administrators, they actually agreed with me. Nothing happened as far as building and grounds putting any type of an opening so I could see in both rooms. So I took it upon myself and I did it, okay? I partially removed a wall so I could create an opening so I could see through both rooms. I have an architectural background. I have an industrial arts background. I teach wood shop. I can, okay? I did it. The kids were not around. There was no harm. There was no safety issues with it being done. They weren't there.
But you did it on
All right.
the account to help kids.
I did it on, you know, like I said, out of the safety of being able to manage these classrooms. So what happened? I was told today that because I did not go through the proper channels, that I received a 3-day suspension without pay, starting tomorrow. So I guess I'm here today, you know, just to share my frustration. Like I said, I think I've gone through the right channels, okay? I've talked to the people that are concerned. They're concerned about it. For whatever reason, it did not happen. And so, yeah, in ending, I would say if you ever want to come over and see some of the great stuff my kids are doing, between my 2 rooms now, there is an opening, you know, I invite you over.
Maybe rescind your discipline.
Yeah, I guess I was hoping that maybe, you know, you could reconsider my 3-day suspension without pay. Because, again, it's all about the kids. That's why I've been here, all right? That's why I keep what I'm doing. And, you know, that's why I did what I did. You know, I cannot be in 2 different rooms at the same time. I gotta be able to see what's going on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I do have, if you want to see, I have diagrams, I have pictures, you know, supporting or showing current status. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we have any other comments for non-agenda items? All right. Next item on the agenda then is 256.24 Superintendent's Report and Comments. Dr. Dignan?
Thanks, President Gray. First, I want to thank our students both from Roseville and Wildwood for leading us in the pledge this evening. Also, I'd like to congratulate Lily King on representing the district in the spelling bee. Thank you to Mr. Crowley for his presentation this evening. I just want to talk about a couple things that are coming down the pipeline. One is our really great reading literacy symposium. We've been asked on May 9th to host at Career Tech 100 local educational leaders throughout the area to come spend the day with us to see some of the great work we're doing around literacy. Our driver's education program's paving the way for driver's education to come back into school districts across the state. We're trying to set up more board workshops in the coming weeks and months. I'd like to thank Jason Malloy and Brittany Hilton for having the first annual John Glenn Hall of Fame dinner and game. Coach Gordon said it was one of the best nights of his life. He's emailed me a couple times since then, so it's good to connect the past to the present, determine the future direction of our district. The Wayne-Westland Early College application window has been extended. It'll close on February 29th. I just want to read some quick data. Cohort 1 has earned 190 college credits thus far. Cohort 2 has earned 108 credit hours in only 1 semester. This data is incredible, and I think it speaks to the team we have here in Wayne-Westland. I want to thank the team that went to the Michigan School Testing Conference in Ann Arbor and represented our district around balanced assessment. I'd like to thank Joe Orban, who has been spearheading our efforts. Real quick, the annual middle school EMU Digital Dudes is happening on Friday, April 19th. We will be represented very well by our middle school students. We're also going to have our young ladies, 7th through 8th grade, participate in our Digital Diva program. This event is slated for April 5th. I want to thank Deloitte We have some teachers, 16 of them, that will attend laying the foundation, a STEM program in Texas this summer. Everything's paid for by Deloitte, so we appreciate their partnership. I also want to thank the ESCO Youth Development and Chronic Gym. They're located in the Jefferson Barnes building. They do amazing things for kids, and we're grateful for their partnership. I just want to quickly talk about the budget, and then I'll turn it over. Ms. Campbell will be presenting in March the mid-year budget amendment. Again, the amendment encompasses the general fund only. This will not amend our fund balance. During the June meetings, Ms. Campbell will present the year-end budgets, which will encompass all the district funds. Our audits are typically completed by October. Once they're completed, the auditors present at our board meeting. That's where our fund balance for the upcoming year will be presented. Our fund balance remains at 6.2 until that time. One other thing, two things, keep on adding some things. The forensic audit, thank you for making a motion for that this evening. It's going to be very expensive, but through the RFP, we will see the cost. I would ask that we include programming the bond within that forensic audit. I also want to remind people, we're going to host our kindergarten kickstart on March 14th at 1 p.m. We're going to have information going out this week that's going to talk about some of our night events for working class families that might not be able to make the 1 p.m. time. We are going to have individual night events for all of our families. And I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Gray.
Thank you, Dr. Dick. Next item on the agenda is 257.24, which is Review and Recommendations Board of Education. I'll start with Mr. Neal.
No comments, Mr. President.
Okay, no comments by Mr. Neal. Ms. May?
Thank you. I would just like to say nice job to Brielle, Logan, and Bryson in leading us in the pledge. Congratulations to Lily in winning the district spelling bee, and good luck in the next round. And also, just would like to lift the fact that I had the opportunity to attend the Champions of Wayne celebration in early February, and just to congratulate those students working really hard to not only set goals, but to meet their goals. And so it was nice to be a part of a really nice celebration. And I don't think we had a board meeting since the John Glenn students received their letters, and I was able to participate and attend that event. And again, it was very, very nice to be a part of celebrating our students and their hard work. And that is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cox.
Thank you. This evening, someone came up to the lectern and talked about, characterized the reduction in our future spending and our budgeting as overspending and mistakes. And for the record, I'd like to state that it was exactly the opposite. As soon as the district was aware that its future spending plans would be altered by a reduction in the available resources, we right away came and told everybody what we're dealing with. That's not irresponsible. It was responsible. And there was no overspending. There was merely a budget that, as we've said before, is a living document. Every day something happens to affect the budget. And what we did by coming forward was to tell you where we're at. Now, while I served as president, I attempted to do some work in order to, as a matter of fact, I see Mr. Walsh here. Hello, Mr. Walsh, and I don't know if you want to come up and talk for just a moment, but he specializes in putting information, financial information about school districts in a format that is a lot easier to explain than the way it's typically given to people. Tonight, a couple people came up and they said, geez, we still don't know where we're at, what's going on. And a large part of that is that the finance documents they're very complex. And I was hoping that we could create a product that we could look at on a daily basis, that could be on our website, that you could have those questions answered anytime you had them. And from what I understand, that you're still working with President Gray, perhaps trying to put something like that together. We know that you need to have this information, and we certainly know that there are contracts coming up, teaching contracts. And when you're on this side, you have to prioritize what kind of spending you have, and a school district has to prioritize teachers above everything. They're the ones that actually deliver the product of education. One of the reasons why there's so much uncertainty about this, and there's a bleeding going on with teachers not knowing what's going to happen. They don't know what the future holds, and the reason they don't know what the future holds is because the Board of Education hasn't made any decisions. It is up to us, once we are faced with a financial reality, to make decisions so that all of this uncertainty doesn't exist in the school district. But we haven't done that. And because we haven't done that, nobody knows where this is going to end. And as teachers continually leave the district because they want to go somewhere where there is certainty, what's happening is the problem's kind of fixing itself. It will eventually fix itself when enough good people leave our school district due to the uncertainty. That's what happens when there's an absence of action at the Board of Education level. So the reason that we have uncertainty is because no decisions have been made about this. Thank you.
Dr. Weaver?
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Science.
Yeah.
Science, sorry.
Okay, so I'd like to congratulate the students that did the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to congratulate Lily on the spelling bee. That's amazing. As one of my colleagues said, we were able to enjoy a few events. We were able to attend the academic letters, the Champions of Wayne banquet. It was really awesome to go to the Hall of Fame over at John Glenn. I definitely want to work with Wayne Memorial and John Glenn alumni. We have to get those back, really in full effect, because it's really nice when people come back to the district and, really support the students, even financially. So I definitely want to work with whoever puts those associations on to kind of get those back on track. Definitely would like to say I'm excited about going. They're having a ribbon cutting. It's going to be on Thursday with the Southeast Michigan Construction. It's going to be on the 29th. So it's like a skilled trade center that's in Westland that's coming to power. So I'm super excited. I'm really big on skilled trades. I sit on the Wayne County Women's Commission, and one of my committees is the skilled trades, workforce development, healthcare, education. So I try to use my resources with the county to help bring additional funds this way and different programs. So I definitely love to get those out. The city of Westland, they're actually having a miracle. Kevin Coleman's having a Westland minority business weekend over with the city of Westland, and they're actually, minority business are a lot in Wayne and Westland, and they're just having them come out. It's the first annual, and they tell us the RSVP by the 29th. Nicole Jones is the person working with Dr. Paschal with the diversity, equity, inclusion. Her number is 734-793-9342. And Hype is actually having a dinosaur type little event for the children. I think it's like March 8th that weekend. So definitely check that out. It's like $8 for the families. So it's going to be pretty cool, like having a, locally with our kids. There's an organization I work with called Being That Girl. And we're actually hosting our second annual. It's going to be a Motor City community youth tournament. So it's going to be really awesome. It's going to be at Little Caesars Arena. We have the whole arena for the whole day because we have partnerships with the Pistons, Lions, and the Tigers. So it's going to be March the 1st, and it's going to be starting from like 11:30. It's like a whole day. It's like a field trip we're doing with the kids. We have a lot of organizations that volunteer to support us. For instance, we have like the Detroit Pistons. We have DAPSEP, the Black United Fund, Silent Cry, the Phoenix Center. A lot of organizations. We're going to have different stations. We're going to have entrepreneurship. We're going to have a leadership empowerment day. So we have speakers, and the whole event is like $27 on that day. So it starts from 11:30 all the way to like 7 to 9. They're going to have a Detroit Pistons game. So the kids that participate gets to go to the game as well. So that's what I want to do. Like bring, really fun things to the community, with our kids. I forgot to say too, I was able to go to the band concert that they had. So I'm giving you a shout out. They're really good. It was pretty cool to come back to see that. So just, I want to really be on a positive note. Again, with these different bonds and things, we need to really get these passed because we got to get money. We got to get our money back to where it needs to be. We're going to be positive. Eventually things will work itself out, but we got to bring more funds. So whatever we need to do to get that, I'm really good at doing bonds and working in communities, and I have a really, really good when it comes to elections and strategizing and things of that nature. I'm actually election chair for the city of Westland, so any type of political stuff, I'm really good if you guys need help with that. And I definitely want to put in the community, we need to get this passed. Like, we don't want to kick the can down the road. Again, elections are expensive. If we can put it where we don't have to pay any money, because we don't want to lose $500,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out a way to get this back on track. So you guys have my support, Dr. Dignan, with that whole situation. When you guys need help, you know, with that campaign, I'll definitely help you out with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. First, I want to thank the students that came and said the pledge tonight. It was great having such a large amount of students here to do the pledge, and I want to congratulate our spelling bee winner and thank Mr. Crowley for coming and presenting to us on the millage. I also want to thank Ms. May for her motion about the RFP with the forensic audit. I do agree with much of this, but much of what's been said here tonight about getting answers, and I hope that all this forensic audit does is reinforce things we already know. This month I was, as Ms. May mentioned, we had the academic letter ceremony at John Glenn. That was a highlight for me so far this year, being able to go attend that ceremony where I received my academic letter a number of years ago. But finally, I do want to address something that was said from up here during the comments just now. I agree that we do need to be making decisions. But we have made decisions. We made decisions in the last couple months to thoughtfully look through this situation and not make knee-jerk decisions that impact the laying off of our transportation staff and a number of our educators in the building. We have made those decisions. So right now, that did cause us to have to take a step back. So we are starting over from there, and we will get more information here next month, and more decisions will be made from there. But I do just want to urge everybody to remember that what got us into the situation of the past few months were some of the knee-jerk decisions that were made after the information became public. With that, I do want to thank you all for attending tonight, taking time out of your Tuesday night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Well, don't